Hey, it's Daryl again, and today I'm in a 2018 Nissan Leaf. I just want to show you a thing. So this is important if you live in New Zealand or if you are in a country that's not the country that your car came from. This is a way to make the Apple Maps and Google Maps work when you plug an iPhone into the car. So the car I've got, I'll just show you the stereo on it, and I'll turn the camera around. So this is a 2018 Nissan Leaf, and this is the normal stereo that's included in the car. So this is a Japanese one, and we're in New Zealand. And what we had to do was just pull a bit of the car apart. So you have to take out the vents and a bit from there. So from here, you access down here, there's some screws that you need to take out. Then you can pull out the corner vent, and then you can pull out this vent along here. And then you can get to the screws which hold the stereo in, which are there, and there's a couple underneath which you have to pull the control panel out for the air conditioning from under the stereo, pull that out. Then you take out those two screws there and these two screws here, and you take it out, and once you've done that, you'll get to, there's a blue wire, see this blue wire here that we've taken out? This blue wire is the GPS connector, so that's the GPS cable. So you have to take the GPS cable out for the Apple Maps to work properly, because it's geo-fenced into Japan. So I'll just explain that a bit more when I turn the camera around. So in the Japanese cars, the cars are geo-fenced to Japan. So if you take them out of Japan, the maps don't work. I've driven a UK 40 kilowatt Leaf, 2018 Leaf as well, and that's also geo-fenced to the United Kingdom. So if you go across to the continent and into Europe, say you take your car on a ferry or on the Channel Tunnel, when you're driving around in Europe, your maps aren't going to work because the car won't let the GPS location be anything other than in Europe. I've also, at some stage, I asked Apple whether they could help with this problem, so they're looking into it as far as I know. When you plug your phone into the car and use maps on the car, you get these problems. So I'll see if I can record that so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so here is the stereo, and here's CarPlay. This is saying in Japanese to plug it in again, so I'll see if I can get this to work. That's CarPlay. Okay, so I just need to record with another device. You can't record from an iPhone when the iPhone's plugged into the stereo. So here we go. So I've got Maps and Google Maps. So if we go into Maps, if you're geo-locked, it won't show you where you are. So this is where we are. We're on Hutt Road in Lower Hutt, New Zealand. It's a suburb of Wellington. And this works properly. So now if I this is Maps. Navigate to Auckland.
Okay.
Navigate to Auckland.
Getting directions to Auckland.
So now I can work out how to drive to Auckland.
Starting route to Auckland.
The Apple Maps is terrible, and it gets you to drive a way that's actually not the way you would actually drive. So I'll go to Google Maps, and so I've set in a route for Palmerston North. So if I want to start, well, I can do this. Palmerston North. Palmerston North. Palmerston North. Eventually, here we go. So now that's working. So if you geofence to Japan, it will actually just plot you as being somewhere in Japan or in the ocean somewhere near Japan, in which case none of this will work. Now there was one step at the start of the video I didn't tell you. What you have to do after you disconnect the GPS from the back of the stereo, and I'll just turn the camera back around. What you have to do when you disconnect the GPS from the back of the stereo is you have to disconnect the battery terminal from the 12-volt battery under the bonnet or the hood of the car, and you have to disconnect it for 10 minutes. And what this does is it makes the computer reboot, and when the computer reboots, the stereo won't have a current GPS location, and because it has no GPS location, it's forced to get the GPS location from the iPhone. And once it gets the GPS location from the iPhone, then now the stereo has the location set as where you actually are, and then all your online services will work. So if you use CarPlay and you say find a motel near here or find a DC fast charger near here, it can't do it if you're geo-fenced in the Japan zone. But if you're if the GPS location is coming from the iPhone, then all the location services work and the maps work. The other features of CarPlay work irrespective of whether the GPS antenna is disconnected. So just a summary. So to do the whole change, you need about 20 minutes of time, and what you want to do is you have to pull the in my case pull the passenger side of the ventilation apart to get access to the screws that hold the stereo in. Pull out the control panel for the heater that's below the stereo, and then take out the 4 screws that hold the stereo in. It unclips at the top after you take the 4 screws out, and then you can lift the stereo out, and then disconnect the blue GPS connector from the back of the stereo. You can tell it because it's a coax cable once you've disconnected it, so it's a square connector and a square blue plug. Pull that one out, then put the stereo all back together. You can put the ventilation system back together at that stage, then go under the bonnet and disconnect the 12-volt battery, leave it disconnected for 12 volts, then reconnect the 12-volt battery, and that's the whole thing done. Then after that, CarPlay will work in a 2018 and probably 2019 Nissan Leaf. That's a car that was made for a market that's not the place that you live. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, ask questions in the comments. Cheers.